was the worst roommate you ever had? I came back to our dorm room between classes because I'd forgotten my statistics textbook and walked into a smell that definitely wasn't mine. My roommate Hazel was supposed to be at her 3-hour chemistry lab like she was every Tuesday and Thursday, and our tiny shared room looked normal at first glance until I noticed my bed was completely messed up, even though I always made it perfectly before leaving for my 8 a.m. class. Her bed across from mine was still pristine, but my sheets were pulled wrong and my stuffed elephant that my dead grandma gave me was on the floor, which sent a weird chill through me because I always kept it on my nightstand. Something felt so wrong that I started looking around my side of the room more carefully and noticed my expensive face cream was almost empty when I just bought it, and there were stains on my comforter that definitely weren't there this morning. I was about to text Hazel asking what happened when I noticed her laptop was open on her desk, still logged into some website I didn't recognize. The screen showed a dashboard with video thumbnails, and when I looked closer, I almost threw up because they were clearly taken in our dorm room, specifically on my bed with my recognizable cloud-patterned sheets, while her perfectly made bed was visible in the background untouched. The titles were things like College Roomie's Bed While She's at Class and Risky Fun on Her Side, with thousands of views and comments from people saying how hot it was that she was doing this on her roommate's bed without permission. Then I clicked on one from yesterday and saw her and some random guy having intimacy on my bed, while hers sat empty 3 feet away, using my pillow, with my stuffed elephant visible in the shot like some kind of sick prop while she told him, "My uptight roommate won't be back from class for 2 more hours." I downloaded everything and ran to my friend's room down the hall, barely able to breathe while showing her what I'd found. Within an hour, half our floor was crammed into the common room staring at my laptop in complete horror, and our RA was pacing back and forth saying this was the most insane violation she'd ever seen in 5 years of working student housing. The girl who lived next door said she'd been wondering why she heard those kinds of noises during my Tuesday morning statistics class when Hazel was supposed to be at chemistry lab, and another girl said she'd seen different guys leaving our room at times when she knew I was in my back-to-back Tuesday classes. The IT major who lived upstairs helped me trace the payment history and found out Hazel had made over $15,000 from these videos in the past semester, all while contaminating my bed and belongings. We found videos going back to September, mere weeks after we'd been randomly assigned as roommates, and in some of them she was literally wearing my clothes that she'd taken from my closet. The worst one showed her telling some guy that her virgin prude roommate who sleeps in that bed every night would die if she knew what was happening in it, and they both laughed while doing things that made me want to burn every piece of fabric I owned. Our RA called an emergency meeting with Residential Life, but the director said they needed more time to investigate before taking action, which made everyone furious because we had literal video evidence of her violating every housing rule about respecting shared spaces. And Hazel's dad was a major donor, so we all had a pretty good idea of how that investigation would pan out. The girl who worked at the front desk told us Hazel had been signing in different guys all semester using fake names and saying they were there to see other people on our floor, clearly timing it for when I had my predictable class schedule. She knew exactly when I'd be gone because we'd exchanged schedules at the beginning of the semester for emergencies, and she'd been using that information to turn my bed into her personal film set. The building security footage showed her bringing in camera equipment and setting it up specifically angled at my bed during my morning classes, meaning she'd been planning these videos around my schedule for months. The president of student government happened to be friends with my neighbor, and when she heard about it, she said, "This psycho is getting the Model Resident Award tomorrow for being an exemplary community member, and we're going to make sure everyone knows exactly what kind of community member she really is." I was all in. There was no way I was waiting for a formal investigation, not after what Hazel had done. The next evening, the entire dorm was gathered in the student union for the semester awards ceremony, and Hazel was sitting in the front row wearing a dress I recognized from my closet that had mysteriously disappeared last month. She kept turning around and waving at people, completely unaware that everyone in that room knew what she'd done, all of us just waiting for the perfect moment. The residential life director was going through the awards, and when he announced Hazel's name for the Model Resident Award, she stood up beaming while everyone clapped politely, even though we were all seething inside. She walked to the podium and started giving this speech about how much she valued respect and creating a safe space for everyone, actually saying, "I believe trust between roommates is sacred," while I sat in the back row with my phone connected to the building's casting system. My finger hovered over the button that would stream her confession video to every TV screen in the student union, and I stood up as she continued talking about integrity, my voice cutting through her speech. "Really, Hazel? Trust is sacred? Then explain this." I pressed play. Full story on the channel below.